Close your eyes for a second. Now imagine looking out your window, and there it is, a human being standing 50 feet tall. Its head is above the rooftops. Each footstep shakes the ground like a small earthquake. It reaches down and picks up a car, your car, like you'd pick up a toy. This isn't a movie, this isn't a dream, this is Tuesday. What if giants were real? What if humans suddenly grew to 50 feet tall? Not in some fairy tale, not in some ancient myth, but right here, right now. Walking through your city, breathing the same air, looking down at you like you're an ant. What would happen to the world? The answer is way more terrifying and way more fascinating than you think. Let's find out. First, let's talk about what 50 feet actually means. The average human stands about 5'9". A 50-foot human would be roughly 9 times taller. Sounds cool, right? Like being a superhero. Except biology has other plans. See, there's a law in physics called the square cube law, and it's the reason giants would be in serious trouble the moment they existed. When you double the height of something, its weight doesn't just double, it increases by 8 times. So a 50-foot human wouldn't just be 9 times heavier than a normal person, they'd weigh somewhere around 70,000 pounds. That's heavier than a loaded semi-truck. Walking on 2 human-shaped legs, your bones can't handle that, not even close. Human bones are strong, they can take a lot of punishment. But at 50 feet tall, the pressure on your skeleton would be so extreme that your leg bones would snap like dry twigs the moment you tried to take a single step. You'd collapse under your own weight before you even said hello. Your heart would fail too. It would need to pump blood all the way up to a brain that's now 50 feet off the ground. That's like asking a garden hose to power a skyscraper. The pressure required would blow your blood vessels apart from the inside. Being a giant doesn't make you powerful, it makes you a medical emergency. Now here's the thing, we're just getting started. What comes next is where it gets truly wild. If you're enjoying this, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We make videos like this every single week, and trust me, you're going to want to see what's coming. Let's keep going, because now it gets weird. Okay, let's cheat a little. Let's say evolution, or some freak genetic mutation, found a way to make it work. Maybe the giants have thicker bones, denser muscles, hearts the size of bathtubs, lungs that could fill a swimming pool with a single breath. Let's say the giants survive. They walk, they breathe, they think. Now what? Well, the first problem isn't science anymore, it's food. A normal human needs about 2,000 calories a day. A 50-foot human? Based on their mass, they'd need somewhere around 100,000 calories every single day. That's roughly 500 Big Macs worth of food before bedtime. One giant eats what an entire village consumes in a week. Now imagine 1,000 of them, 1,000,000. The global food supply wouldn't just be stressed, it would be obliterated. Crops that feed entire nations would vanish in days. Livestock would be devoured like snacks. Famines would sweep across the planet faster than any plague in history. And water? A giant's body would need hundreds of gallons of water a day just to stay alive. Rivers that supply cities would be drained. Reservoirs would empty. The resource war between giants and normal-sized humans wouldn't be a debate, it would be a catastrophe. Now let's talk about the world itself, because nothing, absolutely nothing, is designed for a 50-foot human. Roads would crack and crumble under every step. Bridges would collapse the moment a giant tried to cross. Buildings? A giant couldn't enter a single structure on Earth. No home, no hospital, no office. They'd live outdoors permanently, exposed to weather, heat, cold, and storms with no shelter that could hold them. Cars are useless. Trains are useless. Planes? Forget it. A giant's head would punch through the fuselage. Every tool, every technology, every comfort we've built over thousands of years becomes meaningless for them overnight. They wouldn't just be outcasts, they'd be trapped in a world that physically rejects their existence. Here's a question for you. Drop it in the comments. If you woke up tomorrow at 50 feet tall, what's the very first thing you'd do? Try to find food, head to the ocean where there's space, or just completely lose your mind? Let us know below. The answers are always wild. Now, here's where things take a dark turn. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Humans don't have a great track record with things that are different. We fight over skin color, we fight over borders, we fight over land and oil and ideas. Now imagine an entirely new species of human walking the earth. One that can crush a tank under its heel. One that drinks your city's water supply in a single afternoon. Fear would come first, then hatred, then violence. Governments would classify giants as threats. Military forces would mobilize, drones would circle, missiles would be aimed, and the giants, confused, hungry, scared, with nowhere to hide and no way to communicate through the chaos, would fight back. Not out of malice, out of survival. One giant swinging its arm could demolish an entire city block. One kick could send a military convoy flying. But a single well-placed missile could bring a giant to its knees. It wouldn't be a war with a winner, it would be a massacre on both sides. Destruction on a scale we've never seen. Cities leveled, landscapes scarred, millions dead. Not because either side was evil, but because fear makes monsters out of everyone. And even if we tried peace, even if we chose compassion, where would they live? How would we feed them? How do you build a hospital for a patient the size of an apartment building? How do you give rights to a being that accidentally destroys everything it touches? The questions have no easy answers, none at all. Here's the part that makes this whole thing even more mind-bending. Giants, real ones, have actually walked this earth before. Not 50-foot humans, but giant creatures. During the age of dinosaurs, some sauropods stood over 60 feet tall and weighed more than 80 tons. They survived for millions of years, but they had something we wouldn't. Bodies specifically evolved over millions of years for that size. Thick, pillar-like legs, massive rib cages, hearts engineered by nature over countless generations. Humans weren't designed for that. We're upright, we're fragile, we're built for agility and brains, not brute size. Evolution made us small on purpose, because being small keeps us alive. It keeps our hearts pumping, our bones intact, our brains fed with oxygen. Being a giant isn't an upgrade, it's a death sentence wearing a disguise. We grow up hearing stories about giants. Fee, fi, fo, fum. Titans holding up the sky. Colossal beings shaking the earth with every step. We tell these stories because there's something thrilling about size, about power, about being unstoppable. But the truth is that nature already tested the giant experiment over and over again. And every single time, the giants went extinct. The dinosaurs, the megafauna, the giant insects, all gone, replaced by smaller, smarter, more adaptable creatures. Creatures like us. Maybe the real power was never about being the biggest thing on the planet. Maybe it was about being the smartest, the most creative, the most connected. Maybe we're already the giants. We just don't know it yet. And that is the real what if. If this video made you think twice about giants, do us a favor, smash that like button right now. It's free, it takes 1 second, and it tells us you want more videos like this. Subscribe if you're new here, ring that notification bell, and share this with a friend who thinks they'd survive being 50 feet tall. Spoiler, they wouldn't. And if you want your brain melted even further, click this video right here, where we explore what would happen if gravity suddenly doubled on Earth. Yeah, it's exactly as brutal as it sounds. See you in the next one.